One thing we know about God the Holy Spirit is that He has spoken throughout history to His people. In the Scriptures, we read about Abraham, who received God's promises. We read about Moses, who encountered God on the mountaintop, and whose face, it was said, shone like gold. We read about the prophets and the apostles and the amazing connection they had with the Holy Spirit. But the question is, does the Holy Spirit speak to us today? As we go through our lives, working, building, resting, and then doing it all over again, does God have anything to say to us? And if the Holy Spirit speaks, why isn't it more obvious? Certainly God can and does speak in dramatic ways to different people at different times. But might we be imposing our own will onto God by insisting that the only way to hear Him is if He shouts? What might happen if we create a quiet space to listen for God's voice? What is the possibility that the Holy Spirit might speak to us if we humbled ourselves and simply asked Him, in whatever way He will, to speak? Would He answer?
I can already sense in this second week of our journey of listening to God, the Holy Spirit, that there's a newness and a freshness that is beginning to build momentum. And I find that incredibly exciting, and I find that filled with a lot of adventure. This week we're asking the question, does the Holy Spirit, God, speak to people today? Last week, we had the question, is the Holy Spirit God? And we answered that with 100%. And when we ask the question, does the Holy Spirit God speak to people today? I'm going to come back with the same response. 100%. He speaks to people today. He speaks to you, He speaks to me, and He speaks to us. 100%. The thing is sometimes we may not recognize when God speaks. We anticipate that God is going to rent an airplane, have a banner behind it, and when we're sitting in a football game or a baseball game, He's going to send us a message. God does not often speak that way. In fact, God normally speaks in whispers. He speaks and He breathes into our life very firmly, but it's quietly with a whisper. He cares about our family situation. He cares about our relationships, our spiritual progress. He cares about how we live our life in our acts of service. His whispers are there. Listen, He's whispering.